Hey there. What's going on with you, man? Excited to have you today.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So obviously we have a special treat for everybody that's in the stream right now. As we know, or as you should know if you're here by now, Ubisoft's soon to be released AAA title Tom Clancy The Division is due out to our consoles and PC this month. The hype train on this game is at full steam, due largely in part probably to the large, media marketing engine of Ubisoft. And thus far things are looking amazing. As someone, like I told you earlier, who hasn't slept probably any more than 8 hours in the past 3 days, that should be evident in itself. But the game's beta has been very well received for this open beta and also for the closed beta that we played a couple weeks ago. But for this game, a rather unique marketing tool was just recently shared with us in connection to the game in the form of a direct-to-web 30-minute featurette entitled The Division Agent Origins. And although it was initially only available on Amazon Prime, it's now, as you told me, it's been made its full release over to YouTube.com as well, too. And it's garnered pretty strong reviews across the board from everything that I looked at. So that's really exciting. And so today here at AGN, we're fortunate to have with us actor, writer, Danny August Mason, and who played the role of Daryl, who was a sleeper agent who was activated to help restore peace and order to a post-apocalyptic New York. So Danny, man, thanks for coming on the show. We're excited to have you.
Well, thanks for having me. You know that. So I'm excited to be here. So,
yeah. So we got some people, we have some people in the chat right now, and hopefully they'll have some questions for us after we get started. But I have a couple for you myself that I've been just been itching to ask you. And I mean, first of all, I think that we can start off with a pretty basic question, which would just be, I wanted you just to tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, your acting career, and how you came to acquire this role with the Division Agent Origins and Corridor Digital.
Yeah, totally. I've been acting since I was a little kid. I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska. Then ended up going to University of Kansas and studied theater and film there, and actually studied cinematography, but kept on with my acting classes.
Oh, nice.
Then and then moved up to Minneapolis. I've been here for going about 8 years, and then so. Through the course of that, I've been plugging away through the independent film scene there, working with the agencies in town. And then during that time, I got teamed up with, there used to be a military prop company in town called the Bullet Exchange.
All right.
And they had, So they had a program called BEAT, which is Bullet Exchange Actors Training. So in a side note, I've trained 15 plus years in hand-to-hand combat, Jeet Kune Do. It's what Bruce Lee created. So they teach a lot of these special forces upgrade models of that as well. So I end up actually getting recruited by the prop company to help train actors in hand-to-hand combat. So on the flip side, they trained me in military tactics, simple Army infantry tactics as well. But they had special forces consultants that came in and also worked with us to work on the precision execution. And then through the course of that kind of helped me spawn my urge to really start getting into action. Ever since I was a little kid, that's what I really wanted to get into. So through the course and kind of building up projects with that, I got referred to Corridor Digital by Sasha, who's plays a medic in the divisions, and did a Skype with Sam and Nico, and then also kind of brief audition with them, and then they offered me the part for that, and then it was just full steam ahead after that. So, and it was funny because they're talking about my episode Ashes, and they're like, so are you cool battling a guy with a flamethrower? And mind you, all the stuff that you see in that, it's actually practical. So from me, the shot me running up with a jacket and with the flamethrower, that's actually real.
Yeah.
So they did that. So they did that in two parts. One with the actual stunt guy who's in the Nomex suit, gel, and whatnot, who got the full brunt of it. But with me, they got the jacket soaking wet and did it. And for me, I was totally cool with it. So they were actually more excited that I was willing to, not say screw it, but willing to kind of push it a little bit more, because I also do stunts as well too. So that whole experience and working with them was thoroughly intriguing. By that, I mean, to be honest with you, I totally didn't know how big they actually were getting into the project. And once I start researching it, that's when the nerves start kicking in a little bit more. Because I'm sure. The amount of quality that they do, and a couple of their ideas for the stunts that they wanted to do I was nervous, but really excited to give it a try. And it worked out really well, smashing. And they were just top-notch people to work with, really professional and just enthusiastic. And the big battle scene that you see in like Escape, which is probably one of the biggest sets I've been on, because we're talking almost 80 to 100 people just on that set. Yeah. So, and just the coordination with that and special effects. So it was, you know, full blown. It felt like a, you know, like legit, big, large Hollywood production. And, you know, obviously from the final product, it shows that, you know. So, like I said, for me, I was just more excited to be part of something that cool and working with it. Just incredible cast, just like powerful cast from Matt and Amanda and Sasha in it. And we all gelled, really clicked really well. And I really love the marketing idea that they went with each episode tells its own narrative, but also kind of different humor, from a dark to heartfelt to comical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It ran the spectrum.
Yeah. So I thought they crushed it with that. So, yeah, so I've been doing that. So that's kind of briefly how I kind of fell into it. Just got referred to it, and then just was able to adapt the skills that I learned that I've been training for the past like 5 years, and be able to show off and make it that more intense and real. You know?
Yeah, that's really awesome. Actually, you know, that's probably how we ended up kind of meeting ourselves, is probably because we had a mutual friend through the Bullet Exchange. And so
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
that's really neat, man. You know, and the thing is this is such a big thing too. You know, you were talking about your nerves, talking about how it's such a big thing the more you research it. And when you really think about it, like when you look at like big AAA titled games, I mean, they get more exposure than any movie. You know what I mean? Like you look at the sales and marketing that goes behind a Black Ops game, or a game like this, and you look at the number of sales that it has within the first month. Compare that to any movie. And it's not even going to be comparable. You know what I mean? Like video games, so huge. No,
it is. And what's really cool is that you're beginning to see kind of a revolution, or almost like a renaissance, when it's coming to filmmaking now, and the ability to stream anything and everything that you can.
Yeah.
And that instant gratification. So now, as quickly as the graphics are catching up to almost where, you know, it looks cinematically like a full blown movie. You know, I would not be surprised where you say, I mean, what Ubisoft is going to be coming out with its own Assassin's Creed feature film. So I think they put a lot of, you know, they're writing a lot with this, but I think it's really going to pay off. I'm just hoping.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping the fans will be like, reach out and harass Ubisoft to actually make this a full blown miniseries, because they have something here. And I think, obviously, I'm sure they know that, but, for me, it would just be gratifying and just incredible to be able to pick up the role again as Daryl, if they choose, with that casting, and really kind of show much more of the characters, because there's so much of the character interaction that we're not able to really show.
Absolutely, I'm sure.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, because Daryl's so much more of a urban cowboy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely got that. You definitely got that view from him, you know. In fact, before we go on too far, do you mind if I show your little clip here, just for all the people in the stream? So everyone that's here right now, again, if you're just stopping in, this is Danny August Mason, who played Daryl inside of The Division Agent Origins. We're just having a fireside chat here, man. And again, very excited to have you on the show, man. It's been awesome. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to get ready to play this clip here.
Okay.
Dispatch, we got fires popping up all over the place. You guys see this?
We got 2 garbage trucks just pulled up outside.
What the hell is sanitation doing here?
What the hell?
Run!
Matches, anyone? You need water? I need fire.
Real great dark tones too, like over the entire film, you know, just sort of like the lighting and stuff. It really does well to match the mood of the game, I'd say.
I would definitely agree with that.
This is Daryl, up and running. How copy?
This is Mia.
Everett here.
Yeah, I was hoping to get the call a little sooner.
Get your stash locations quick, then rendezvous on me. Copy that.
Copy that.
Yes, it is live, Gamer Fantastic. And Alexa says she really enjoyed the story.
Good.
Just a look of terror on your face when that shotgun's going down.
That's real.
Real terror. It's great how it's gritty like that. Like, I'm glad they didn't pull any punches. You know what I mean? They made it mature, and that definitely captures, I guess for sure the feel of like what you would want the game and any story accessory to it to be. So here we go. Here's a flamethrower.
Cool.
Oh man. So these are actually called the cleaners in the game. They just burn everything because, well, that's very athletic, man. Shit's scary.
That's how you get rid of it.
Yeah.
You gotta burn it.
Burn everything. So if anyone didn't see, he was saying that this was real. You actually,
yes,
actually had to do it.
Yeah, actually I do it. Run into using the jacket to a flamethrower. Yeah, that's real. Oh yeah.
Oh man. It's almost crueler just to walk away, man. So we're gonna stop that there for now, but we'll play a little bit more of it. We'll probably go back, play a little bit of it as we go on or whatever. But man, really impressive, man. That's really awesome. And obviously I've seen a bunch of your work before too, man. And I always like your action segments, man. Like as someone who with prior military experience and stuff like that as well too. It's always refreshing when you see people stay true to form instead of just going all across the board with their gunfighting mechanics and their movement and stuff like that. And you've always done really good at kind of encapsulating that that realism inside of your work.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, I've worked really hard to execute that and get that precision and that muscle memory and to make the realism come through on it too. So I think a lot of actors and filmmakers kind of tend to skim over that, and it kind of makes it really cheeky. And it's actually giving that, I keep using precision, but that effectiveness coming across. It's the actor's responsibility and it's their duty to do that, to make sure that. So there's special training on it as well too. So when I get those responses, and for me, I just want to make sure like the gaming fans are like that more excited about it, but also getting that also fans from the same time from people with, like you said, the prior military experience and stuff too. So yeah, I mean, I've worked hard at it. I really enjoyed it. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And I definitely feel that, like, and two is like, you mentioned studying Taekwondo and stuff like that. And, as someone who's really big into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like, it'll always just, I'll be watching movies sometimes and I'll see someone do like a really weird chokehold or like, just a weird hip toss or something. And I'm just like, no.
Oh yeah. You cringe at it. Yeah. You get frustrated.
No,
for sure. I mean,
come on.
I know. I see that so much more and definitely more in like, obviously action films. And some of them you have to make that disbelief, get that disconnection on it because of the story that's being told. But, if you're portraying actual like either reenactment or like a actual extent a real gunfight,
right?
There's definitely things that come across. So you can tell the actors either had training or they didn't have training or they're just being lazy with that as well.
Or that just nobody involved in the production at all had any idea about any of the stuff that they're actually displaying, for the camera. And they're just like, that looks good. Go ahead and run with it.
Totally. Yeah,
that's great.
There's definitely filmmakers out there who enjoy a lot of like airsofting, so they kind of incorporate their tactics into it as well too. So it's worth it to invest in hire outside consultants with that too. I'm actually working. Yeah, I'm actually working on hopefully with a new company with that. That's going to be much more mobile and everything, but bringing my perspective and my experience as an actor and what works and what doesn't work when you're dealing with actors, but also filmmakers in general. So look for that. That should be hopefully launching in the next couple months or so. Yeah, no,
that'll be exciting. That'll be exciting, man. Maybe after that point we can have a talk about that as well too. So the thing that I wanted to kind of ask you too, like before you started filming any of this, did you at all hear the game? Did you hear the game? Did you hear any of that stuff, or was it kind of like?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear any. They briefly told me what it was, so I wasn't really too sure. But what really kind of caught my attention, what they're saying, like, so you're going to be an agent. You're a sleeper agent on part of a sleeper cell in this big, terroristic activity that's taking place in New York City, and that you become activated. So I'm like, all right, well, cool. This is a great idea for a game in general. And I started researching more and looking into it. I was like, holy fuck, this is going to be really, really damn cool, even just to be a part of. And once I was seeing what Corridor could do with the graphics on it, that's when I knew really how big this was really going to be. And like I said, they got the best in the business to help out with this production on the same time. So I had a little bit, like I said, going into it, I had a little bit of knowledge just from researching it as well. But then the coolest part has been seeing the fans' like reactions to it. That's been the really, really cool part about it too. And also hearing about how, the gameplay, and like we were talking briefly, Brandon, about, your excitement about it as well. Which is even more cool, because the sad fact is I have not played it yet. So don't hold that against me. I know.
No. We'll get to it. If you live closer, I would kidnap you forcibly and make you come over here and play it. So it's all right. But no, I mean that's obviously really cool. I mean, there's the big thing. The big thing with this game is like, that they were going to come out and do a good job, because this is pretty much Ubisoft's flagship right now. Like they are putting all of their eggs in one basket on this game, sort of, and I mean, like, obviously they've had some minor releases in the past. Like, they've had, obviously some Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege that they've released one. And of course they have the Assassin's Creed every 5 minutes that they release. But this right here is, we were kind of discussing a little bit in our chat before we got on air about why a title like this is just such a big thing for people, and why people get their hype cooking so much over games like this. And you see this with like Fallout, with any of these games that have like that apocalyptic sort of feel to them. Things have gone wrong, things have gone south. Order as you know it has failed. Systemic failure abounds. What do? You know what I mean? Like, how do you react? What about your friends? How do they react? And this is one of these types of situations where it is like that in the game. And I think that that's a fantasy that's very real for a lot of people. It's very big, especially in our current culture, being as, we are just constantly bombarded with news and media that show disaster after disaster after, just war and battles and death and disease. And, and so obviously, because of the heuristic of availability, because we hear about these things more, we have this tendency to think, well, wow, this stuff is probably going to happen, or something's on the brink of happening. And this is definitely a new era in terms of that, because before, it's like, think about it, like our parents generation. How did you know about what happened around you? Well, you read a newspaper. Maybe only one that came to your city. If it made the news, it made the news. If it didn't make the news, it didn't make the news. What else? You read a book. All right. So maybe you read a book about one specific incident or one specific series of incidences, and that formed your beliefs. Nowadays with social media, with YouTube, we are literally, retaining and getting, hit with information from all angles. And I think that definitely feeds into this, to this psychology, and also what makes it so much more engaging.
Yeah. No, that part I completely agree with. I mean, we're living in a, with the amount of technology that we have and how fast it's growing.
Yeah.
You get that instant gratification quickly on it, and you can be part of almost a first person perspective, any form of, even from like a combat situation to a revolution that could be taking place. But we are being consistently bombarded with a lot of negative reinforcements to our society, which is, for me, I think the wrong direction. I think there could be lots of manipulation going in with that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole if you want to.
Yeah.
But with that being said, yeah, I mean, that's why you're seeing a lot of these, obviously one for the superhero films are doing so well because it gives the body this idea of crazy situations where not you as an individual can do anything unless you're super rich or you go through a traumatic situation, or either you're brought up from birth from it, or you're just born with it, with these special powers. But these games and what they're doing is actually allowing that person to kind of get that could actually be me. I could see myself being that individual. So there's a direct connection with it too. And like you said, like the amount of money and energy and people and consumers with that is skyrocketing with the amount of people who are paying for it. And then you look in that how that transforms into like Comic-Cons and also the different cons and how much money is being brought into that in cosplay. And I mean, and that's essentially what your movie was. I mean, what that show was. It was ridiculous cosplay at a level that's unfathomable to the rest of us geeks out here who dress up from spare pieces in our closet. But I mean, like, and that's also the reason too, is why, like, everybody who's watching this, if you enjoyed the series, I'm just going to say again, let's start tagging Ubisoft. Let's tell them that we want a series, and we want a full series that encapsulate, the full breadth of personality and adventures of these agents. And it would very much complement it, because the other thing about this game that does make it unique is the fact that it is a cooperative role-playing game. You know what I mean? Like, it is basically, it's supposed to have a story. You're supposed to, get immersed inside of the role of the agent or character that you're playing. And so, like, obviously having that accessory to the game, like having the main storyline of the game, but then also having like this, this very rich and thematic, heart pumping, series that comes before it, that sort of like puts you in the mood, that puts you in the place, that makes you more so vividly imagine what it must be like to live inside of this situation after this, after this post-apocalyptic events, like that's gonna up the immersion, and if you steadily leak that out through the course of like, the first year of the game's release, like other games have done it, maybe not as effectively, I don't think, as this one, but they've definitely tried doing it. I mean, I know that Halo has done some of it before as well too, pretty successfully. But so, and moving on, the other thing too that I think is obviously the cooperative gameplay, and something that, obviously because of the fact that we are probably because of the same thing that we touched on, because of the reason that we're so bombasted with media of all these negative things about people doing horrible things to other people. We're afraid of other people. You know what I mean? Like, people don't trust their neighbors anymore. Yeah, totally. No,
it's isolationism. And cooperative gameplay is a way to basically engage in this primordial instinct that wants us to be symbiotic, that wants us to cooperate and have good teamwork. But unfortunately, we really don't find, an outlet for that anywhere outside of the workforce, where it's...
Yeah, well, no, I agree with you on that. I mean, we definitely don't. But the same thing with the gameplay that you have. I mean, you got to remember, you're not there unless you're having, a situation where you have your friends over and you're doing that sort of thing. But other than that, you're just literally with a headset on, talking to a person, playing a digital representation of an idea that you want to be. Yeah, what I mean? It totally it becomes a very large mind fuck in itself. Where so you do have those situations where people become socially awkward and don't know actually how to interact with human beings in general. I'm a big believer that we are only species that we don't look at each other as, we don't recognize each other as human beings. When you look at another person, you don't go, oh, that's a human being. You immediately judge that person on what they're wearing, how they look. That's because what we've been taught, because we're being bombarded with so much consumerism on the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting psychological approach that we can, discuss. And I'm sure we could, rap about this for hours.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure. You know what I mean? But on the same time, I think it's really cool how they are allowing you to get fully immersed in these characters and basically create your own character the way you see fit and explore those storylines. And I think that's a huge direction. I won't be surprised. I mean, I'm sure you'd be seeing 10 times or more of that coming out with games on it too.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I mean? So for me to be a part of that, like I said, it's just going back to the idea that, oh, cool, I'm actually a part, because I've always been a Tom Clancy fan growing up as well, too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
For me, that's just an awesome part, just being part of that
Absolutely,
sort of legacy. Man. Because, growing up, I've seen the films with, like, The Hunt for the Red October.
Oh, yeah.
Connery, and the Patriot games with
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
What's it, Harrison Ford?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's Harrison Ford.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So,
I thought so.
Yeah, so I think it's cool what they're looking to do, like what they're doing, and I'm just hoping that this, this explosion will only show Ubisoft. Like, yeah, let's take a second look at, making that miniseries and actually making that, and just the ability of that. And for me, as being an actor, the moment I see somebody dress as my character as like a cosplay is like, that's enough for me to be like, wow,
that's when you know.
That's super fucking cool. That's
absolutely
what makes me very humble as an actor. Be like, that's really fucking cool.
Well, like I said, man, I am personally going to be making a Daryl character when the game launches. Awesome. I'm going to do everything I can. As we've already discussed, though, if they don't have a way to put on the backwards cap, I'm not really sure how realistic I'm going to feel it is. But like I said, I'll mod it on the computer. I will program a mod specifically so that I can wear my cap back. All right. I will have a fancy cap that I will put on backwards. It's so funny, the names that they give for like all the accessories, but one of them is like, they'll be like fancy pants or running or fancy running shoes. I just like fancy everything. I just want the whole fancy collection. But we have Mitty here who says that he would so binge watch 2 or 3 seasons of this series at a time. And yeah, I think a lot of people would, man, especially, there's, like I said, and even look at it like this, like I'm going to admit like some shameful things to you, bro. Like, let's look at like previous titles that I played. Like, let's look at Destiny, man. Yeah. I've put 3,000 hours into Destiny. All right. I'm going to be real. I'm going to put my neck on the chopping line. I have put 3,000 hours into Destiny. Name me a movie that any of you guys have watched. Let's say a movie is an hour and a half average, or even let's give it 2 hours average, that you've watched 1,500 times.
Yeah, I can't even come close to that.
No. And that's what I mean. And that's why like the level of enthusiasm that comes with fans in games is going to surpass that of movies every time, because of the replayability, the ability to immerse yourself over and over again. And like, that's why you see like with comics and stuff like that too, like the series that never ends, that always allows you to keep engaging with it. When you put on a movie, you watch it for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's over. You watch it again, maybe in another 6 months, and maybe you notice different things about it. But this is something that you engage with, that you interact with, that you have memories with. And, it's just something that like as you were saying, the fandom that can get behind a series like this from the entire, geek cosplay genre of individuals out there that are just dying to dress up like Daryl. It's cool, man. It's definitely cool.
Well, it is. Well, and I think as a because I'm a big geek in myself. Just with my geekiness comes to like comic books. I have a ridiculous large comic book collection on the same time. So I get that, and I think it's rad when you see people dress up as their characters, because there is that initial connection that character makes you. Like personally for me, like I love Batman. I've always loved Batman. I will always love Batman.
Who doesn't? He's a ninja.
Some people
come on.
Some people don't. I mean, last night I was with a couple of my buddies, and he's a big Superman fan, and we kind of bumped heads on it because we're having a heated debate about the release of Batman versus Superman. So anyways, but that because it invokes a something about that you want to become. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it's so cool. I have another short coming out. It's called Link, where it's a live action Zelda film, and I'm Link in it. And it's
you really?
Yeah. So that's going to be coming out.
That is good. That is going to be really cool too. And I'm really glad. I'm really glad that it's, like the thing that annoys me the most is when people call Link Zelda. That's I will admit that is one of my.
I totally agree. Well, the cool thing about this is that it's from the production company's Outer Rim Productions. Director Dan Delano, and I've worked with him a couple times, and he's a phenomenal filmmaker. And his films have won awards at film festivals and stuff. And he was kicking around this idea for about a year. And I told him, I was like, I don't care what we need to do. I just want to play Link. Because Zelda is one of my favorite video games of all time. Old school. Nintendo. Yeah. And so this one, the cool thing about this one is that it's set in the near future. So it's more of a post-apocalyptic world that Link's living in. And he's way more of an anti-hero with a bigger chip on his shoulder. So he looks very worn out, and he's got scars. He's been around the block and everything. So that one's going to be really cool. And I'm very curious to see how the fans are going to incorporate that, or kind of like how they're going to react to that, because, we've always seen Link as it's really kind of dreamy and fluffy and really pretty fantasy world. This one's way more gritty, where it's like the realism, where it's a modern day. You can see Link walking down the street. So when that gets released on it, I'll let you know, Brandon, for sure. We can.
Oh my God! Yeah, we are going to for sure, man.
Yeah, and I can get the director on there too. For it. So
that would be awesome, man.
Yeah, man. But like I said, for me, it's like I thoroughly enjoy doing those kind. For me, that's a great role, because a lot of actors don't ever get a chance to play like Link.
Fucking Link, bro.
Yeah,
that's like a childhood relic is who you get to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Exactly. And who the fuck has ever done Link before? I can't think of anyone. And I mean, like,
so for that part, it's like,
and like a gritty Link.
Yeah. Oh, it's very gritty. It's very dark and gritty. And it just only it's true to me that there is a huge market that's not being taken advantage of. That's not being really looked at, is like these characters that through the technology that we have and streaming, where you can get instant access to anything that you want to. And you're getting so many platforms like YouTube Red, Vimeo, Amazon Prime, Netflix, that are dumping a lot of money into a lot of content. And I'm just hoping that they'll be able to look at the gamers and saying, like, there's a big market. We could, potentially make a big splash in it.
They have to be. The analytics engine is running, and right now, like when you look at YouTube, us gamers, we are the second biggest, most watched category on YouTube, and like
you guys are.
It's huge. And I mean, like, and the reason for it being too is because, like, you look at any other channel, right? And you think, well, what am I a channel that does? Am I a channel that does stuff on beauty? Am I a channel that does stuff on health? Am I a channel that does stuff on vaping or whatever it is? We actually, one of my friends who's in the channel here, she actually runs a very big vaping YouTube channel. And for something like that, you have to sit here and you have to plan videos. You have to be like, well, yeah, I need a product. I need to have a script. I need to review it. I need to demonstrate it, all this stuff. And these are things that you can maybe only do, 2-3 times a week, to produce it. But a gaming video, I can record myself doing like a live let's play video of just put a cam on, me playing a video game, and have hours of footage and episodic, series that I just release and I'm constantly uploading to the web. And as we all know, like YouTube, it gauges its priority, ratings based upon watch time. How much time are your videos watching from their audience or whatever. And so I mean, like, it's definitely a big thing in our culture too. And like we were discussing earlier, it's very, very, rapidly filling the gap for younger people, because there really isn't a whole lot of ways to interact with people anymore. We are becoming more, confined to our jobs, and we're done with our jobs. We're tired. We want to be home. You don't want to go. What are you going to go out and do? You're going to go out to the bar. I mean, go out, do something. I don't think a lot of people see a lot of options. And this is something that's cheap, that, you can hang out with people that you can enjoy. You can solve puzzles. You can be mentally active. You can communicate, and you can kind of have like some of those aspects that that we're missing, from our society, as a whole or whatever.
Well, that too, but it's also the amount of friendships that actually grow from online gaming.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I mean,
that's the other thing. I mean, it's incredible.
I know people I don't know better than the people I know. You know what I mean? To be honest.
Yeah, well, it's hilarious. And what I tell What I tell stories about, like, and the best is like when I'm playing Battlefield, because one of my favorite games is Battlefield 4. And so when you're online and when you're playing that, the amount of shit talking is incredible. That alone is a incredible art.
It is,
what people can pull in, and especially like these, like kids, like 11, 12-year-olds, the way they talk shit to you blows my mind. Like the extent of their vocabulary on it too. And then it's also fun too, because you get those super intense military guys who are just going just crazy, and they're just calling out like Foxtrot and like Alpha, that sort of thing, engaging AO and that sort of thing.
You know what I call this right here, bro? This right here is a $300 Your Mama transmitter. All right. So like this is actually the insult transmitter right here. But no, I definitely want you to be able to hear me insult your mom in high def. You know what I mean? At the greatest audio fidelity that's possible. But yeah, man, for sure. So tell us what console do you play on? Like when you play Battlefield 4?
Yeah, so I have an Xbox. I have an Xbox 360. I am currently I'm trying to see. I'm at a big crossroads in my life right now.
Okay.
That by saying I don't know if I should go PlayStation or if I should go Xbox One.
Well, we'll get a vote here. Everybody here, PlayStation, Xbox One, put your vote in. I'm putting mine in for Xbox One.
Okay.
Simply because. First of all, I like the controllers better. Like this right here is a controller that I use for Xbox One. It's a Elite controller. It has paddles on the back so that, you don't have to you can program it to be you can remap any button to any other button that you want. You can, so when you're playing and you're aiming, you never have to take your thumb off the aiming joystick in order to hit a button to reload or to change weapons, because you have these buttons behind here. You know what I mean? So that's pretty neat. Also, I like the interface a little bit better. Also, that it meshes real well with Windows 10 on your computer. Like they have great cross compatibility. I mean, if you have a Windows 10 computer, you can stream your Xbox to any computer, any laptop, or wherever in the house. The game sharing, I like the exclusive titles like Halo. I'm a big Halo fan, man. So
yeah.
I gotta have Halo. So that's kind of mine. I mean, I'm not opposed to the PlayStation at all. You know what I mean? But right now I play Xbox One and I play computer games. Everyone is over here blasting Xbox One, man. Everyone's saying the X button for you, man. So I am not the only person here with these proclivities. Yeah, she's my special sweetheart. I love her.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
I get that. So I mean, currently it's a 360. It's getting old. It's making a lot of interesting noises. I'm pretty sure it should not be making at this time.
We'll take it all back and shoot it. Maybe at one of our later interviews. Maybe maybe we'll have you come back after you get an Xbox One and you can take it outside and put a bullet in it as Daryl.
I can do that. That's okay.
All right. Sure. Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem doing that.
I want to see that actually now that we're talking about it.
I'm sure you do.
I just want you to just cover its eyes and just give it one. All right.
Just put it out of its.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Just shh. It's a mercy killing. It's
sure.
more. Yeah. Okay. So, in an effort to further supplement the previous line of questions, as we've already asked you, you said that you haven't gotten an opportunity to play the Division, but do you want to play it? Or are you going to think you're going to give it a chance here in a little bit? I mean, you have to. You have to.
No, I have to. I have to because it's totally that stupid actor ego. You know what I mean? I have to. It's
right.
The point of and also from what I've heard about the gameplay on it and just the excitement, obviously I got to feel that curiosity about that. I'm going to. It's just my schedule has been just crazy.
I'm sure,
crazy
man.
Lately. So I'm hoping to get to it the next week or two.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping.
Well, it comes out March 8th. It comes out March 8th. So I mean, you still have a couple weeks before the actual game comes out.
Yeah.
So there's still a little bit of time left. So I mean, I don't know if they're. Maybe the chat will know us a little bit better than me, but I don't think that they're going to be releasing it for 360, man. So if you want to play your own game. You might
have to get an Xbox One.
You might, bro. You might have to.
You're not saying might. That's
and I'm saying that you might have to play it with me. I don't know. I mean, I can't come there and physically force you. Mostly because I don't have that much motivation. But I mean,
you don't have that motivation.
Yeah, no, but it would definitely be awesome, man. If you want to ever give it a shot, we have a fire team ready for you. We'll go make some people cry. That's
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. I totally would. This is just giving me more motivation right now.
In fact, one of my friends in here, Miss Molly, she last night we got all types of hate mail she got sent to her. People just sending her messages, hating on her, just telling her how horrible of a person she is. They're filled with salty, delicious tears of unfathomable sadness.
For what? Why was the hate mail for?
Well, okay, so what we did, we were being a little bit dirty. All right, we were being a little bit dirty.
Here it goes, the truth.
So the truth is that you're allowed 4 people in a fire team, right? 4 people to go inside multiplayer. So what you do is you go in with 4, you have 1 person drop out, and then you invite like another 3 friends into that party, and you're all in the same instance of the map. And even though you're not technically on the same team, you just all work as the same team.
I see.
So yeah, we definitely cheating the system.
You little fucks. Well done.
Yeah, I know. It was great. People just were soaking. Some of them, and then like when you kill someone, like if you kill an agent that that hasn't done any that hasn't showed any signs of aggression towards you, you get what's called you go rogue, right? And there's a bounty on your head, and so all the other agents of the map go, oh, this dude's rogue. Let's go kill him and get some money so we can buy better gear, get better weapons and stuff like that. So everybody will come after you and they'll look for other people that aren't rogue, to be with them to come kill them. So, but if you have like your team that's rogue, but just your friends that aren't rogue, they run up thinking that they have support. They think they have friends and they don't. They don't have any friends. No, it's just death. Just death.
It's just death and carnage.
Yeah. Okay. So another bit random line of inquiry that I want to put out here for you is, what are your top 3 video games of all time, man?
Okay. Top 3. Okay.
Top 3.
So, all right. Number 1 would have to be is going to be Zelda. I grew up with that, so I love that game. Zelda. Another one, Super Mario Brothers, just because it was a childhood brand. But then it I kind of took a break from video gaming for a while, and then I really got into Call of Duty. Got sucked into the COD world.
Okay.
So I do like Call of Duty, but currently, like I said, right now, my favorite one is Battlefield. But I haven't played Divisions yet, so that could definitely change under that. So, but currently, So, I mean, those would be, Zelda, Super Mario Brothers. And then I do enjoy the COD games. The newer ones I don't really care for so much. They're too futuristic for me.
Yeah, they've gone to like a dystopian sort of weird spot.
It's not as cool as it was before. So, and then, so like I said about Battlefield, man.
Battlefield is amazing, and they just actually they put an update to it that completely like revitalized the graphics of the game. And it's one of those games that's still going strong. I mean, it's still going strong today. It was actually the first game I got for Xbox One. When the Xbox got released, Battlefield 4 was the first game that I got for it. And it was really neat, man. It was really neat.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So I guess, and I know that they've been talking about releasing a new Battlefield. I don't know if that's been pushed out or anything, or if they're still actually going to be released.
I haven't heard anything about it for this year yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm hoping they're going to. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed on that one.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely one of those games that even like, still talked about as being really well done. I mean, like even if you want to play that game on max settings on computer to this day, you have to have a top line PC, because it was a real well put together game. I mean, like the whole interactive environment where you can like literally explode a building on someone's head.
Oh,
that's where it's at. That's where it's at, man.
For me, I really enjoyed the sniping on it and being a sniper.
Yeah.
And bullet and calculating bullet drop and getting windage and all that. I mean, that's for me. That's very cool. I mean, it's a lot of fun too. Yeah, for sure. So I really enjoyed that. And also all the other things they can do in that for sure. And my personal favorite is getting on the quads and throwing the C4 on it and then jumping off the quads and hitting that and blowing up like either an airplane or a helicopter at the same time. Yeah, it takes a lot of playing to actually begin to master that stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure,
a lot of people off.
Yeah, and that's all we want. I mean, like, to be honest, we just want to envision the other person on the other end of the screen, just like
screaming and just
throwing controllers, like breaking hundreds of dollars worth of equipment off of like one fucked up button push.
When I hear a person have an emotional meltdown, because I have gotten to the core, and that is real raw emotion,
right?
You know what I mean? That's just pent up. That's real anger.
Yeah, that's probably why you like acting so much too, man. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like you just want to make people cry, like every way you can.
I sound like a dick.
Yeah, damn. What an emotional terrorist I have on here today with me. God,
Jesus. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No, I love people. I retract everything I just said about making people cry.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah,
okay, seriously, but there are parts of it that
me too.
Enjoy gamers. Yeah, you're right. Totally. Anyways,
all right. So so I'm gonna go out there on this one. So we discussed this a little bit before. We know that the premise of this game is based in a post-apocalyptic, or shall I say, post-viruletic New York City, where chaos and disorder descend on a complacent city, and sleeper agents are called out of hiding to restore order to civilization. So how realistic of a scenario do you think this is? Meaning some kind of disaster within the next couple of generations that obliterates our social infrastructure, and should something like this happen, how prepared do you think you are in real life to confront such a scenario?
Oh wow! So that's a very loaded.
It's a double question there. Yeah, there's two parts.
Just throwing that on the table.
Yeah.
Okay. On the basis if this could actually take place in generations, I think at there's some point we're going to see something to the extent of this in civilization. I mean, you'd be really naive not to think so. Especially the way things are going in. That's not even before bringing up the Middle East. And currently in that situation, especially Syria, I'm staying away from that because I'll just go on a very large tangent.
No, man, this is a spot for it. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about, man.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, but it's just, I mean, there are definitely things shaping up within a larger global depiction of that. Realistically, something like this will happen. And how prepped can you be? I don't know. It depends. How prepped can you be for stuff? I mean, I have my own personal things and my own, I would say, agenda once this situation goes down. But I'm a big believer in natural law and natural rights and self-preservation. And so nobody's going to take care of you. You got to learn how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
For protection. You can't count on anything. You can't count on the government. Can't count on the police to help you on those situations like that. And mind you, I'm talking within a large event kind of basis of what division would actually take place in. So you have to kind of learn to prep yourself, but nobody's going to tell you, nobody's going to kick you in the butt and give you the motivation. You just have to do that on your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that, so I think things are very shaping up. I think that there's a lot of dangerous people playing really stupid moves within the world right now. And I think we're going to see it's only going to get crazier within the next year. And especially when you look at the political race, what's happening right now. I personally feel that both parties are completely just out of their mind. They don't have good candidates on that as well too.
I think that's the average consensus. If you're under 40 years old, you just look at it and you go, "Oh my God!" Like, we don't even take it seriously anymore. I think it's just sort of
it's scary. It's absolutely scary. But anyway, so I think we will see something to the extent within either one or two generations of it. I mean, the United States has constantly been at war for hundreds of years when you really kind of break it down for it, even if you're describing the Cold War, but then you have Korea and stuff. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time and the power structure will change. And, the Who said it the best, Pete Townsend, meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Same as the old boss. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what's, to the extent it's going to happen. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, of course, be naiving. In all
I know it really sucked. I mean, like if it happened real soon, we wouldn't be able to play Battlefield 5. I mean,
you won't be able to play Battlefield 5?
I mean, we'd be we would still probably be able to blow stuff up. I mean, like,
I think so too.
Yeah, I would find a way to blow stuff up. I mean, like if I can't blow stuff up in a video game, I'm blowing something up. I'm blowing something up in real life. Like that's just going to happen.
You have to. You got a little bit pyromaniac in you. I can see that.
Yeah, it's the fight. It's the fire. Like you notice, like during the fire scene, like I just kind of pupils dilated and just kind of salivated a little bit on my keyboard. I had to
it's okay. I didn't want to bring that up, but that's okay though.
Yeah, it's no big deal. That's why I keep like my in-cam picture really small on the side, so that way they don't see, the secretions.
Okay, well then how about this? What do you think? I mean, do you think that we could see something like this within a generation or two? And how prepped are you? So I'm turning this around on you, buddy.
Oh man, you see that one just got fired against me. Well, I will say this. All right, I will say that it is naive to assume that just because something's always been somewhere that some way that it's going to continue to be that way. And obviously, the more people that we have inside of the world is obviously increases the threshold for the amount of stupid decisions that could impact everybody that create. It's sort of like, since we're talking about the division, it's sort of like viral theory. It's like, the more people there are, the more petri dishes there are, which means that the more variation and, viruletic and bacteria evolution there is to take place. So therefore, something like this, there's a lot of people who actually believe that out of all of the, you would say, apocalyptic, possibilities out there or theories out there, that a virus is actually going to be the one that is going to that probably has the most potential of really setting us back. Like you look at, like, obviously we've made huge strides with with genetics, and we've made huge strides with antibiotics, but I mean, like, with so many people and so many constant, just fast permutations of all of these different strains. Like, that's something that's very real that could happen. So I think aside from that, like we touched on government, like there's, name me one government, that is still in the exact same form, that hasn't experienced a revolution, that hasn't experienced a civil war, that hasn't experienced, some type of internal strife through, after 1,000 years of existing. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Like, these things culminate. Like, we don't live inside of a vacuum, even though we perceive things inside of a vacuum, because that's all we hear and that's all we interact with on, a day-to-day basis. But so I do think that it is a very real possibility. But also, just because of the fact that like I said, because I have that availability heuristic, because I hear about more things, doesn't necessarily lead me to believe that because of that, like, I'm going to start, going crazy and heading to the woods just yet. I mean, like, I take it as I'm a pragmatist. I look at it and I see, like, well, this is something that if you have any type of rational thought, that you should be prepared for. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through, the people who know me in real life know that I've been through, a lot of scary situations in my life, man. Like, I've been to a lot of scary places, and I've been in environments where people aren't nice, where people aren't friendly, where there is no hospitality, where it is basically, survival of the fittest. And it's really kind of, obviously opened my eyes. So I am a bit of a precautionist, and hence why, obviously I'm a, big student of martial arts, and, like, and I just advise anyone, obviously anyone who values their life, and the people around them that they love. It's like, like there was once a saying, that, the things that matter most should never be at the mercy of the things that matter least. And if, like, your life and the people you love is the thing that matters most, and, you kind of have a duty at bare bones to be able to, to protect that and the people you love and type in that kind of situation. So.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So I'm going to start while we're talking here. I just want everyone that's in the stream watching. We have quite a few people in here watching right now, and I just want to open this up to some questions that we can ask. And but in the interim, while I'm letting them type all their questions, do you have any advice for YouTubers or other aspiring talents on how to follow their dreams and getting on projects such as these? Because we see like actually quite the advent of like, just like with music, just how music, it used to be, if you don't get involved with one of the top 5 record label companies, you're hit. You're not going to get any exposure. And then we see people coming on YouTube and coming up with something creative, something new, something interesting, and it just goes viral. And it just opens up all kinds of doors for them. And obviously the same thing is happening with YouTube as well. I mean, Quarter Digital, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they just a YouTube? Didn't they start off making YouTube videos? Were they a YouTube production like studio or?
No. It was just, I mean, from my understanding, were just filmmakers that really just enjoy making fan films.
Yeah, and
just got a big following and found their niche. And my advice to the audience out there is to do work. If you want to be a filmmaker, make films. Technology. We're at such an incredible time in our lives right now, where, like, technology is so much cheaper than it was about even 5 years ago to actually shoot a project, to edit it, to put it out there, and to put it on these different platforms on it. But just do it, and by more of you doing work, you'll be able to hone your craft and what you're good at, what you want to explore, and push yourself. And don't settle for the norm. Go beyond the norm. The norm's only there as constraints by this society of what you should do. I say, fuck it completely. Do what you want to do expressively, artistically. Within, obviously, just as long as you're not endangering or harming other individuals.
Yeah, don't rape puppies, guys. Don't do anything to small animals. I mean, that's not pushing limits.
Going back to the law and order of, like, natural law, just saying. But that's my biggest advice is do what you want to do what you love to do. The more that you do that, the better life you'll live, and it will be much more enjoyable and fuller with that. So, and don't ever give up on it too, just because your stuff, your content, your films aren't being seen. Well, then figure out how to get them seen. Be creative. I mean, I guess I've heard a lot of filmmakers kind of toss in the towel because they like, well, I can't make money off it, or my projects aren't doing well. You have to get very creative on your marketing on that too, and reach out to those groups on it.
Yeah.
And with actors, I always hear actors saying like, well, I don't need to take simple things like acting classes anymore because I'm established. I think that's complete horseshit. I think that you should always be a student of life. And once you make that switch from student to teacher, that's when your days are numbered. Put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thoroughly am a believer is read as much as you can. Get back to just simply opening a book. We don't do that much anymore, but you really should.
Yeah.
Research as much as you can. Absorb. We're such at a point where you can learn to do anything and everything now in the course of the internet.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's just you just got to figure out what you want to do and just do whatever your heart. It's going to make you feel passionate about it, make you happy. I mean, for me, it was as a young age jumping off the roof of my house.
Oh my God. That is the funniest thing. I have the same exact story, and I'm sure that my wife is actually in the channel. And when she first met my family, they used to tell her this story. When I was a kid, you remember like when you used to go to middle school and you would have those big like parachute looking things that you'd put the ball in with all the handles on them and like.
Oh yeah.
I stole one of those when I was like 8 or 9 and took a bunch of twine and made a parachute out of it and jumped off the roof of my 2-story house when I was a kid doing that. Just duct tape up the top hole, just ran off doing it. I used to, I mean, like stuff like that. Like you have to.
Well, that, and then also me and my friends would just start making small, stupid films when I was a little kid. And we'd take our action figures, we'd reenact like G.I. Joe, big battle scenes and stuff and shoot that. And, really use our imagination because we're very much, we're now at a point where we're taught not to use our imaginations or we have technology that just dumbs us down to the extent on it. And as long as you can keep that, then you can make anything a possibility in your life, but you have to do the work to get there. You know,
that's actually how I met our mutual friend that we spoke about, David, before. Is when we were young kids, we used to play airsoft and shoot airsoft videos. And I used to come out to, like when we were 14, 15 years old, come out there. And, even back then he was making movies and making action movies out of, just his friends playing airsoft and stuff like that. So that was always really cool.
Yeah. And so, like I said, that'd be my biggest advice to people. Just follow what you want to do, but don't give up. Trust me. There's definitely days where I have looked in the mirror and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because
we all have that though.
Yeah, we all have that. It's all about getting through that, and it's your self-motivation, and it's just it's about how many times you get knocked down, man. It's just, make sure when you get knocked down in life, man, laying on your back. If you can land on your back, you can get up. If you can get up, you can fight.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm going to give you a question here. Mr. Gamer Fanatic asks, did you guys have a firearms consultant that showed you guys how to operate the firearms in a realistic way?
Yes. They did, but for me, I've had training up to 5-6 years, and I have continuous training on that as well too. So actually between takes, I would be working with the other actors on direction, how to hold the weapon, ready ups on it, how to move on it so you're not bouncing on the same time. So you got even keel sights on it too, because Mia's got Amanda Day has a really sexy shot in slow motion where she's going and she's pumping rounds into one of the inmates and everything. And So they did have a consultant with it on it. But here's the thing though, is that they were local and they were just individuals. There wasn't like an actual company that actually helped us out. But so part of it, I told them that I would take on and work with the actors on the larger scenes.
Oh, I'm sure that was a big sale too. I'm sure that was. Yeah. And just because, if I'm totally, and this is totally ego, if I'm going to be in it, I'm going to make sure the other actors don't look like shit because I don't want to be a part of it. Absolutely, that's just me, because you got to do the work and make it look real. Yeah, and that's the reason why I think that you probably would enjoy this game, because it's very based on like kind of like those battle drill 6 mount type movements, close CQB, totally. Like squat, like everything is about like positioning and cover to cover play. And it's really neat. Like, you don't get a lot of, you don't get jumping, you don't get none of that stuff. It's just basically position yourselves, have good lines of fire. You know what I mean? And it's pretty cool. All right. So we have another question on here. Miss Molly wants to know, bold turtleneck sweater or trendy soft shell jacket? so those are 2 items. Those are 2 items that you can get inside of the game. So,
I'm going to go with the turtleneck.
The turtleneck. Oh, you're classy.
You're making a statement by that. Oh yeah, keep it classy.
Yeah, he drinks wine with his pinky up. We know that now.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we have another question from Alexa. She said she would like to ask about the badass flamethrower scene where he walked into the flames. How did they do that? Safety measures? Did you practice it, or was it all one take?
Oh no, yeah, okay. I wish it was
right. Yeah.
Okay, so the way we did it, we broke it down. So we had a stunt guy, and stunt guy was in a Nomax suit and with flame retardant gel on the same time, wearing the same outfit as me and everything. Yeah. And then for me, they would turn down the flamethrower on it so it wasn't as intense as you see it in there. But they took the jacket, and working with the pyros and the stunt coordinator, they doused the jacket. They put gel on it and water. So it weighing soaking wet was almost 45 pounds.
Oh, damn.
When I take it, I'm actually holding it running through. And then they just shot the flamethrower, not as about 50% intensity on it.
Yeah.
So, but it's enough to where, you can see the flames coming around you, engulfing you, and feeling it.
It's hot.
And then when I would obviously do the scenes, I'd jump away out of the way of the flamethrower. I kept on telling the guy to try to hit me. Don't pull it because it's going to look like it. For me, the motivation as an actor, and he got a little nervous about it. But I was like, no, I'll get out of the way, but just try to hit me with it. But every time I would have to put out the ends of my boots on it too, because they were smoking. That is
funny. So now that we just asked this question, I'm going to play that scene again for people who may have just recently stopped up in here, and I'm going to show the badassery that is Danny Mason running into a flamethrower.
Very cool.
All right, here. He's just practicing for hell, folks. Don't worry about it. I have a feeling this music is called Flamethrower. Like, what? It just feels like that was a name before they even did this.
Oh, the soundtrack is great.
Yeah.
For it. It is.
Look at that. Oh, nice. Beautiful, bud. Beautiful. That is extra cool. I will say that, man. So one of the One of the interesting things that you were talking about when you were saying this is you were saying, like, hey, follow your dreams. We have all the tools. And earlier when me and you were talking about Deadpool. And I don't know if anyone knows this here, but Deadpool was actually completely edited using Adobe Premiere. Did you know that?
I did not. Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, it was in the credits. Adobe Premiere is what was used to edit Deadpool.
I did not know that. I know the fact that I think it's really cool. It's a first-time director who did Deadpool, and they did it strictly by what the fans wanted. Yeah. Which is only showing, and it broke all the records of any kind of superhero film that came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a great fuck you to the studio system on that.
Right.
Which I totally support. I think it's this, the more that if they listen to the fans, they're going to reap the benefit of it, which is rule of thumb, always listen to the fans. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so like I said, the fans of Division scream, knock down the doors of Ubisoft, demand for a series. You
heard that, guys. More of this. You heard it, right?
You need to do it.
You need to do this. Yeah,
they're not going to listen. They're not going to listen to me.
Well, man, I'll tell you what. I'm definitely going to push for it myself. I'm going to march down at the gates, bro, for you. So we're going to do that. We're going to make this happen.
I appreciate it.
We have Mr. Spring here. He says that he definitely wants to be a cleaner. And interesting too with this whole flamethrower scene and like you being here is actually, so when the Division first released during their closed beta, they had one mission that was available. You could only do one mission. You could go on the Dark Zone. And now for this open beta where they're letting everyone from PS4, from Xbox, from PC download it for completely free and try this game, and they threw in an extra mission. And the extra mission that they threw in involved us taking down some cleaners. And it was just all going down into these tunnels and killing these flamethrower, these flame throwing badasses. And it was a lot of fun. Like the enemy mechanics were really fun to fight. So in a sense, I kind of feel like I've been there, bro. Like I've ran through a flamethrower, man. Like
Are you
we might
really
be we're brothers.
Are you literally comparing the same thing for me running into actual flames to you playing on a
I
game?
think, yeah.
You know what? God damn it, I agree with you.
You know what? But to make it fair, next time when I do it, I'll turn up the heat. And I'll just
yeah, totally. Yeah,
I'll just turn up the heat. I'll light a candle in front of my monitor or something like that. Maybe have my wife come in here with some hairspray and just like blow it at me while I try to like dodge it around as I play.
Of it.
Yeah.
For motivation, man.
Yeah, I know, man. I need to get into the mindset of this. Like, I kind of feel now like we're kind of like at an uneven kell because you've ran through a flamethrower and I haven't. And then
I fought a cleaner. Yeah. Basically, and that's why
basically.
Well, another thing too. Whatever.
I don't even know what I'm doing with my life anymore. All right, go ahead.
The thing I liked about Daryl is that he didn't kill him; he just walked away like a boss. Because he already knew the cleaner's fate was sealed. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that part, I think, that shows a lot about.
You just fell in the super AIDS. Yeah, one teaspoon of that in the butt, and you're dead.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. That was definitely a cool little video right there, man. It was so well produced too, man. Like I was just so surprised. Like when I first heard about it, even before I seen that you were actually in it, I was like, please don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up for
Please
us.
don't. Please, Ubisoft, don't fuck this up.
Yeah, don't make this some tweeny sort of like, cheese fest where, because they always try to do that. They try to make things too appealing to everybody. And in doing that, they basically make it almost mildly appealing to nobody. You know what I mean? Or to every,
I totally
what I mean?
agree.
It's like, come on.
Agree.
And when you see that first scene, like, in there where you shoot him in the head and you just see like the blood just running down into the concrete. That's where I knew that your scene was going to be badass.
That's exactly. Oh yeah, totally. It does a great job at setting the tone and
from the very beginning with the shanking, with the prison shanking. I mean, right from the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's like that's brutal.
Absolutely.
That's vicious. That's vicious. I like this. I'm going to watch the rest of it. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm terrified. Yeah. I'm going to keep watching this. Yeah. So you're definitely going to have to give that a whirl. We have a.
What?
Oh, just someone's commenting that I've officially made the channel. I've officially made the channel R-rated. So, well, it's all right. I don't we don't need any kids watching this anyways. I have enough kids in my life. And by enough kids, I mean I have absolutely no kids. So that's why I'm able to do fun stuff like this. If I had children,
yeah, for sure.
If I had children, I don't think this would be a possibility. They'd be screaming in the background, and I'd be wet everywhere and probably malnourished. So, and I definitely wouldn't have been able to put 3,000 hours into Destiny or not sleep like at all for the past 3 days.
3,000 hours. That blows my mind.
Yeah, mine too. Well, and that's obviously why I do this and why I do stuff like this, because in my mind, I'm such a productive individual. Like I can't just sit here and play and be like, I'm justifying this. Like I have to do something with it that makes me feel like, okay, I'm kind of doing something. I'm sort of being productive. I'm being creative. I'm making stuff. There might be a way to eventually possibly monetize this. I have to give myself excuses to allow me to like digress that fully into what is that? Well, we have another person on the show with us behind us, man. Behind you, yeah, you got another show, yeah.
Oh, are you talking? Oh, yeah, that's that would be Chino.
That would be Chino.
Yeah, it's my pit bull.
I have 2 pit bulls actually.
Oh, you do? Yeah. So Chino's a rescue dog too. 7 years old. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes. He just woke up from a nap. He's staring at me because he wants to go on his walk. So
on his walk. Well, we have people awing in the chat already. We've attracted the animal lovers.
Aw, good.
Yeah, a lot of people get all kinds. Yeah, you can shoot dogs in the Division 2, just so you know.
You can what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually shot a dog. I'm gonna admit it. I shot a dog. And its spine got torqued so hard, like its front and back legs like twisted around like the opposite ends of each other. It was horrifying.
That does sound horrifying. I'm hoping it was justified.
Yeah.
Of you shooting the dog.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't at all.
You fucking sadist.
Yeah. I don't know what that deal was. Well, you know, I will say, man, that it has been, you know, it's been great having you on the show today, bud. I really appreciate you coming out here, talking to everybody for us. And I will let you go. I will let you take your dog out for a walk because I've already shot one dog. I don't want to deprive another one of its walk or anything like that, man.
Well, but, Jesus, man, thank you for being so considerate. But yeah, no, seriously, but this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Like I said, I would love to come back and do another one.
For sure, man. And like, hopefully next time we can get a little bit more hype on it. You know, I'll put a little bit more work in the channel and we'll have a little bit more people interacting with us here. But man, yeah, thank you again, dude. It's been awesome. It's been so cool, man. When I found out that you were doing this, it literally, and when you agreed to do the interview, it literally made my fucking month, man. It really did.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. But I mean, I appreciate people like you who are doing what you're doing and wanting to just get this out and just the content and all that. So I appreciate it. So trust me, gratification, honor is on my side, buddy. And like I said, you know, keep your eyes peeled. Like hopefully, you know, Ubisoft will make a, you know, Divisions miniseries. We don't know about that. I do have another. If you're looking for work coming up with me,
tell us.
Yeah. So I shot a TV pilot called Dream Nation.
Dream Nation.
You can find that on Facebook, Dream Nation. So it will hopefully be being pitched to Netflix. It's kind of dabbles into basically my character's Jeremy. He's a computer software engineer on nanotechnology.
Nice.
Realizes his company Virotech is in a conspiracy planting nanotechnology with like news people, media, alter reality conspiracy. So it's kind of got that Matrix feel to it and stuff. So hopefully something big comes from that. And like I said, link should be getting released. So I will let you know, Brandon, right away when that gets out, so you can see that. Oh
yeah, that is awesome. That is pretty cool too, man. That is.
Yeah. So and then and so far that's what I got on the chopping block so far. So
that's great, man. Yeah. That's awesome. So again, everybody here, Danny August Mason, we have it's been great, man. So
it's been great. Thank you, buddy.
Yep. You have a good one, man. Have a good day.
I will. And thank you, everybody. And please, like I said, harass Ubisoft for us.
Yeah, harass Ubisoft, everybody. Get on it.
I command you. All right,
before the end of the day.
See you later.
Yep.
I'll see you guys later, all right?